Step by step, the clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explore right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
It is Thursday evening and winger time. Woehoe! Hoe sit? Hoe gaan het met al die mense? Wat sê julle hoenderholle vanaand? It is a Thursday winged. Lord knows what winged session it is, but we are here. We are here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard what happened to Mike Vapes. First of all, you just tell me if you can hear me, if you can see me fine, etc, etc. But yeah, he got his second strike, and yesterday Grim Green got his strike. Yeah, so it seems like they are attacking. Seems like they don't like the vape reviewers anymore. Any vaping channel has that, because I mean it hasn't been what I can remember where two big guys like that have been receiving strikes within a few days of one another. It's crazy. It's crazy. But in any case, it seems like the shows do not have a problem. But as soon as there's a bit of reviewing going on, that's when the oaks are checking you out. So I don't know. In any case, Mr. Arianto was here first this evening. And then came Christian Bainkies, his second. Arianto says, "Can't say Christian Bainkies. Kaiser, do I need to know more?" Okay, I'll basically tell you what. Before we quickly go on, let's get this 10-minute thing after one another, or behind it, which is the auction. And basically what is going to be auctioned within the 10 minutes which you see there is, number one, this will be included in the auction, which is a little special set of authentic Thunderhead Creations baby aliens, nicely packaged. So yeah, that's cool beans. And then you will be included this whole kit, all these inserts, the various inserts with the various sizes, that's part of it. And then the Elite itself, There you go. If you open it up, you also get a spare glass on the inside. Your goodies will be at the top over here, and there you're going to get this gunmetal MTL RTA. There you go, with a spare glass. And then besides that, I am also going to throw in a the one of these little bullets, and I'll just pop it inside the little Elite case. Kom jou fart nippel. I say man. There you go. One of these little numbers, which has also got two different MTL coils on the inside. I can actually tell you what it is. They do specify here. These are MTL fuse Clapton coils, 30 gauges, Clapton by 38 gauge, 2.5 millimeter diameter, and yeah, seems like it ohms at 0.6. These one of these small little coil C's on the inside. So that I will put inside this little package because there is space. I think there is space. Put it over there. No, it won't fit over there. Now I'll have to include it separately as well, but doesn't matter. So in any case, that is what is up for auction. And then if you're wondering what is the poll, what's up with the poll, now yeah, we received the good news that my son's Bucky's engine has to be redone, and it is going to cost us 30,000, which we already basically had to put down a certain amount. So I just decided to help ease the pain of that. I'm probably going to put up one of my nicest mods as a winning draw for anyone who comes up with a, put it that way, with a super chat. Now that is the idea. You guys must say whether you want or whether you don't like the idea, but it is this guy. This is my special one which I've had. It's this beautiful one, and this is a skin from an authorized dealer which I put on here because I like this malachite look. Now you obviously can pull off the skin if you do not like it, and underneath you're going to get the black powder coated version of this. And what's nice about this 3.0, it's also got on its battery door on the inside over here. I'll show you that. You can see it looks nice and neat on the inside, but you've also got these specs which has actually been included on the inside as well. Magnets, super strong. But yeah, but that's, yeah, these are strong magnets. And with that, I'm also going to include this black leather case, because if you want to further protect it, there you go. You just put it inside this casing. And I've still got the original packaging of this guy as well. And there it states the information that it's powder coated. And yeah, so what I decided to do, that if there's enough interest though, for anyone that has got a super chat of 50 Rand and above, or put it that way, for every 50 Rand in super chat, I'm going to give that person an entry. And then obviously after that specific show, if we decide it's going to go down, then I'll check. If somebody's got 150 Rand in super chat, it's going to have 3 entries. If there's only one guy in super chat with 50 Rand, that's just one of those things. Then you're going to win this for 50 Rand. But you guys decide tonight via the poll if you are interested in something like that. But yeah, as I said, fortunately I saved up some money for that power stage, that EcoFlow River Pro, which I wanted to buy, so we could push that in there as well in the Bucky. But I didn't think that Bucky's whole engine is going to be had to be done over Luxem. So yeah, I'd be that as that may. And then my son and his girlfriend were having a combined 21st this weekend, so I had to find a shite load of photos. First of all, let's quickly see if you guys can actually hear me. If everything's good, just give a thumbs up. Lekker man, hello mooi man, hello, I don't know, hey, welcome, sorry, slip of the finger. I assume you guys can hear me. I assume so much. So in any case, what I also want to do at the 21st is, in the background, all the people are lekker dancing and having a couple of lekker Belgravia nannies over there. Yeah, there's one klein bietjie oor. Manna. There's a big TV and they want to run a slideshow, obviously, of both of them from babies to where they are currently and that. So we went through a lot of photos, and I actually came across some of my army photos. So I thought I would show you that. So I just want to get this autofocus ready and just take you through some of them. This one over here, I can just get a autofocus where that one over there, basically, which you see is the area on the border where we were actually stationed for about 2 weeks, and that is on the Ruakana, the Kunene River, put it that way, the river which basically separates southwest from Namibia. But what's beautiful is the fact that it's so lush and green all along the river, and the further you go from the river, there's not a lot going on over there. So that one was there, and then there's me with the Elouette helicopter flying over there. Check out this GV bastard. Yo, check out that, man. There's a little 60mm mortar between the legs. Kruip ek rond met 'n snotneus. Snotneus ouetjie. Hier is manne op die buffels. There you go. I think you should see the photos fine. And there's where I got my 1 star for my lieutenant. And then after I did my first camp, I got my 2nd star. There's the plane we actually took to fly to Grootfontein. There's my chomas, or my buds. There they are. And that's a camp over there. That's in Oudtshoorn. Check hy gesiggie. And this is also part of Oudtshoorn. Pitched up my bivvy. Made my little tanky over there. Kyk hoe maar as ek. And this was, I can't remember that I actually had this photo, but this is part of Fuzzbait. Now for you oaks that probably been to the army would know that most of the units have got some other survival type of training. Okay, let me just put the focus back again. Which is supposed to put the guys through their paces. And Oudtshoorn's one is called Fuzzbait, and then you actually go and walk through the Swartberg Mountains for a week. And if you actually look on the photo, you can actually see there's Ouchies right at the top over there, and then there's Ouchies there walking over there. So we were down this side, obviously, but yeah, that is part of Fuzzbait. And there's a Ouchie on the border where we were tunting around the table. That's me holding some boozies. So yeah, and there's just another one at the top over there. But yeah, if I find another interesting one, but that is nogal nice memories. There's one photo which I came across afterwards, but it was very interesting. One of the things which happened to us on the border, let me just get this focus back, is they came to us and asked for volunteers. They just asked for 3 or 4 volunteers, and most of the times you think it's people that is going to have to fill up sandbags, which they normally use as barriers. So I just decided, because I heard there's a officer party, because there was a lot of officers which were invited to go and watch some other weapon the next day, which was going to be displayed. Any case, and I just thought, let's take the chance. And I told 2 of my buddies, I've got a photo of the 3 of us wearing these white aprons. I said, listen, let's go for it. Because they didn't want to say what the job was. They just asked for 3 volunteers. So we decided, let's do it. Wragtig waar. And we were supposed to be waiters at this officers' festival, put it that way. And if you know that you eat rat packs on the border, geez, like it, that night, everything which was left over on the plates of those officers, we taunted. The booze which was left, it was great, it was super. But the Oaks was so jealous when they actually heard. And I told you, yeah, julle varknippels wat nie wil volunteer. So we were extremely lucky over there. Let's just quickly go through the chat. I don't want to get behind. Hier, skop Ariantos sommer hier af met 'n phone. Ariantos wants the hex. Yeah, as I said, I just love the skin. I just had to get the skin for myself. It is beautiful. I think the other skin which I still brought in was a skin which I actually gave to Kelvin, if I'm not mistaken, because the other skin was a steam crave or steampunk theme. But I just smoked this one sticking. But as I said, if you don't like it, you can see the lines over there, so you can just pull off the stickers. But this thing has been put on so professionally by me, and it's not going to come off. Oh my lordy lord. But it looks great. So ek is bereid om hierdie ding op te offer, Pisangs. Well, I mean, as I say, I've got to make a plan. Ek moet, but it's not a lot that I need, because I mean, we covered most of it, but still. Naan sê Kaisorian sê môre Philies peerde kokkes in die huis. Dion Danhauser, good evening, Dion. I think, Dion, we must just make a day tonight for the Cape Town meet. It's plain and simple. Let's just say the 11th, next Saturday. We can either meet up here or we just can go to the beer house. Because, I found Oakdale Club. Unfortunately, this time of the year, they are going to be booked out with business conferences, private parties, weddings, blah, blah, blah. So, but I think the beer house is a good option. And if we're not enough, or a little enough people, 10 or something like that, we can always just braai at the back of here, like last time. Kan ons maar maak, maar ek dink ons moet 'n plan maak. Ons moet net 'n datum neersit. It's plain and simple. Anthony Bass is inside the house. Yeah, I've been playing Ultimate Fishing now that I see Bass. I was so tired of the Diablo and I'm so tired of these games because when you get older, these young oaks start owning you. You don't hear that well anymore. You don't see that well anymore. Your arthritis is kicking in, so your reflexes are not that solid anymore. So I just decided to download a nice fishing game. So I downloaded Ultimate Fishing Simulator. And I must say, I'm on level 30 now already, because every time you catch a fish, you can decide you can sell it or get a lot of experience. So I'm on level 13 at the moment, and I must say, I actually caught on level 13 a marlin, a striped marlin, which was 100 kilograms on a line which can handle 22 kilograms of tension. But yeah, I was extremely lucky. So that I'm enjoying now that I see Bass, Anthony Bass. Ja, julle maltrap en aan sê. Jaco Veldhuis, I think Jaco still, he can actually tell you. I sent him one of these oaks, Jack Peacher. I sent him that, and I sent him a Blimey. Because he really wanted to test it, so now he's actually had the opportunity, and I think he's enjoying it. So Jaco Veldhuis, enjoy him, chomma. Anthony, hey, play nice biatch. Pierre de Kok, member for 10 months, Winged Secondary, respect, I tell you. South Prawn, good evening, South Prawn. Welcome, there's Morne Phillies, 7 months. Winged, lekker op 5 plekke, sê die perd. 10 months getting there. It's close, man, it's close. Hopefully this channel stays alive and gets evades the strikes. Let's put it that way, evades the strike situation. Okay, the other thing is in any case closed. Let's just go to the normal screen without the timer. Daar sê it is Thursday evening and winger time. Woohoo! Daar sê meisiekind. Yeah, die drops Arihanto at 21 rand. Dis maak met Arihanto gaan hy ding kry as ek hom so check. Hello, Fossie's in the house. There's Timothy Victor in the house. Go check out. Dave also got a vape meet on the 18th again. If you guys in that area. Jaco Veldhuis, honors member. Yo. Fossie het Ari Lol. Anthony Bass, sorry, slip of the finger. Hello. Hi, Mr. Bass. AKS. Good evening there. Paul Beetkus here. Shabir Jusab. Good evening, Shabir. Lekker, kan hear you loud and clear. Awesome stuff, man. All good on my end. Jy's duidelik. Lekker op 5 plekke, sê ek vir jou. Anton Visser sê, eating good keizer and all the lovely peoples in here. They are lovely peoples for sure. Sound is good. Nice. Nico Libbe is kicking in there. The very busy Nico. Very, very busy Nico Libbe. It's strange that he actually has the time to watch the show, nee. Ou sal dink die man gaan maak alweer daar klomp goed vir white collar. Shaal van Niekerk. Hey, julle awesome mense. Welkom, Shaal. Jy het seker nog 'n klomp juices waarin jy sit en vibe. Dawn Oosthuizen. Good evening, Dawn. Welcome. Can't remember that I've seen your name there. But then again, you never know. Paul Jansen van Vieren, I know you're one of the new members. You will see on the extra, your names are there. It's been put up. There's Jeep. Oh my word. Ilandre Botma is vir 'n slag. G-Monkey's Vape Shop. Ilandre Botma, the owner of G-Monkey's Vape Shop, is inside chat for a change. Mr. G-Monkeys, you actually won a prize a while ago. But as the rules state, you need to reply at a certain point. At the Monday, ne? If you win a Thursday, you need to Monday. So yeah. And then we actually had to give it away again. So ja, daar het jy dit. Paul Beetke, G-Monkeys, hi, Vos. Yes, Vos Reineke R100. Vos soek hierdie toren. Hy soek hierdie toren. Let's keep the toren inside Cape Town, guys. No one else that I have seen has got this Tauren Elite yet. So you never know. But it's something nice to play with. As I said, the inserts, but I actually played around with the inserts, but I gotta say the insert with which it actually comes, the one with the small little holes, the holes are extremely small, so it's still a very nice It diffuses the air beautifully. So you've got a very nice, tight, smooth draw on this thing. But I mean, there's so many to play around with over here with that thing. Okay, so where do you buy the MTL coils? Oh, here nee, ek het nee. The coils I don't buy. The coils I use, the MTL coils I use, white collar sponsors is me, and it's these aerials, and then these little hexes, these little guys, these little hex coils. So yeah, you'll see there, white collar, there at the top, that side, there at the top. Here, waar wys ek? Daarsel. There. So yeah, they sponsor me. And then I've got some wire, man, that's lying over here. Maybe I gave it to Mona, I can't even remember. But yeah, there's a little roll of wire. Then there's one of these things which I actually ordered from overseas with some coils on the inside still. But I haven't used these in quite a while, and they still got coils in all these little houertjies. But that's there as well. But yeah. And then you can also just turn yourself, man. I mean, MTL coils, a lot of guys believe in plain straight. I think Nico's one of them. Plain straight stainless or nichrome, just 28 gauge or 30 gauge, and just gooi hom in there, straight, unclapped and unaliened. Net soos jy wil. There's Arihanto. I just want to go. I actually spoke to Benji a bit earlier, and we communicated with one another. So hopefully this little Zoom thing actually works out. I will, around 25 to 30, I'm going to send him an email again, just a link again, so he can actually respond and invite. So yeah, that's regarding the MTL coils. Paul Jansen van Vieren, Jaco South Prawns on 150 over there, Henry Landsberg. Mona, jou vrou sê jy moet YouTube afsit en gaan slaap. Force wants this little thing. Here, hy kyk, jy, dis die manne in, hier's 3 manne, lyk my wat hy soek vir die hex, for the hex. Okay, so obviously I'm still on this. I'm going to be on this for a long time. That I can tell you now. This X-Pro 1.4 is very nice, as what a lot of other MTLs are, but most of you guys who've got a lot of gear know that as soon as something comes along, which might not be better, but it's still very nice, then you somewhat keep this thing on. So there's nothing wrong with the X-Pro 4, there's nothing wrong with the Pioneer, there's nothing wrong with the Berserker 2 or the Intake MTL. I still like all of them, but this guy, it just looks awesome. It looks awesome on this Dany. So that I'm hitting at the moment. Then I recharged these batteries to get some nice num-nums going. And I'm still vaping this. This is actually very, very nice. I'm telling you guys, give it a go. Try it. Polar Pops. This specific one. The one which is the passion fruit, pineapple and strawberry. That is lekker, man. Lekker op 5 plekke. Asgard. I see this guy which actually sold an Asgard, what, for 500 or 600 rand on the classifieds. I thought myself, yo, that lucky bastard that's going to get it. But I mean, it's pointless me getting it, because I got 2. The big one and I got the smaller one. So ja, hy's daar so. Kom ons check wat gaan nog hier aan. G-Monkeys 150, Ega Money 200, wat is dit? Daai mooi mod, so mooi mod. Punt in die wind. That is point in the wind for the English people. Nico, jy moet gaan slaap, sê Vos, you must go and do. Super chat mense, nie normale chat nie, super chat. Now that normale chat was for the auction. The super chat is for the X. For the X, yeah. So it seems like the Oaks want it, so I'll put it up. I'll definitely put it up. I'm just going to repeat, for every 50 rand, and remember, afterwards, I can see in YouTube, which is very nice, you can go to the super chats, and it actually lists the super chats over there for the specific evening. So that's very nice. So it's very easy just to go and add up each person's, and then divide it by 50, and then you can see Arihanto gets 17 entries because he must wants to snipe this thing again, and Jaco Veldhuis is so many entries and whatever. And then next week, now that you Oaks are putting it in, the whole idea was that you guys just vote for it. Now you Oaks are going in super chat already, but any case, so next week we will live. I am going to spin this guy. I spin ons hierdie perd. met his genuine leather number with the little potentiometer also showing over there. That little old cheese there. But you can decide whether you want to use this leather thing or not. It's all up to you. All up to you. Christian Bankies, LT Keizer, salute you. Mense gee baie geld. Yo, ek weet nie, ek kan nie eens mos sien nie. Ek sien mos niks hierdie kant nie. My little chat screen is this size because I squeeze it into the left. It's just that little size. Before we actually do that, let's quickly go to the slideshow because there's not a lot I'm going to show you though. There's not a lot new, put it that way, which I could find. But there's a few things of interest though. So let's quickly go through the first one over there. There's this little oak. Now the only reason why I'm showing you this picture is this to me is the definition of optimism. I saw a guy advertise this setup on Facebook for 1,000 Rand. And I just thought to myself, geez, like, what is that setup which Charles actually won the other day? What was the one? The Org Vape with that MTL RTA on top with the X Pro 4 whole brush thing. I think he got for 750 or something like that. Here, this oak wants 1,000 Rand for that. I don't know what they're smoking in Blouberg or whether it's the smell of the bamboos rotting on the beach, which is starting to go up the nose and affect the cognitive thinking area of the cerebrum over there. But I don't know, I wouldn't purchase that. But then again, not a lot of people know the value of these kind of things. So we know what's going on over there. I won't pay 1,000 Rand for that. There is no way. And then I thought I'm going to show you this. I think Zach Damon, if I'm not mistaken, actually ordered this from Nico Libber, and those are two-tone tanks which he actually made for the reloads of Zach, and I must say it actually looks beautiful. Nico, jy's eintlik 'n goeie bliksem, né? He's actually a crafty bugger. Just look at that two-tone numbers. So yeah, very nice tanks over there. Thanks Zach for sending those photos along. I appreciate that. And then I just thought, I know you know the Centaurus Squonker. I know you know it. I've shown you pictures. Hold your horsey. The only reason why I'm showing you that now is because I don't know whether you know that you do not necessarily have to use the Centaurus as a squonker, but you can use it as a storage device. So you want to go somewhere with an RTA and you vape low wattage, 30 watts or something like that, the 21700 is going to be perfect for that. And then you can use that other bottle which you see at the bottom, you can use to store juice. How's that? So then you can go there, if your RTA is empty, you just remove the bottle, throw in the RTA and just push it back. You don't have to use it as a squonker. Thought I'd just show you that. Maybe you knew it, maybe you don't. I don't know. Toch ek wys dit vir jou. Now I did show you something similar to this little guy last week, but in a very close proximity. I think the previous one was 550 mAh. This one's slightly larger. Let's just quickly get the name of this. I just want to go to my desktop, go to my Vape Peeps. Where's my Vape Peaks? 2 December. Yeah, this guy's called the Aegis 1. The other one was the 1FC or something like that. So this is slightly larger though. So as I said, I think this one's 780. But everything else is the same. It's actually strange. Even the dimensions is the same. The amount of liquid, the things, it's just a larger battery. It's kind of weird. But in any case, so that's one which is there. And then we've got this little tank which came out, another MTL tank, which has got a very funny name. It is BY koppelteken, eh? What's a koppelteken in English? Not a hyphen. A meet-up sign, a combination sign, pas nie is die, ek weet nie, kan nie onthou nie. But it's BY koppelteken KA by K, SERTA by Vape Systems. So yeah, there's something which you can look in there. You can actually see the name on the underneath. I don't even know why I'm struggling like that, but you can see the name. Now it's a 22mm. You can decide whether you want to use it with a 3mm tank or a 5mm tank at the top. But yeah, I don't see anything special about the build there going on over there, which we often see in the things. At least you've got little pillars along the sides for your legs, so it's easier to actually cut and keep it in place. But that's the little biker. Check out this little next one. I think most of you have seen this by now. I just thought I'd put those little photos up there. I like the name of this thing, the Helheim. The Helheim SRDTA by Hell Vape. Helheim. So yeah, also postless, single coil. You can check it over there. Still uses those rods. I'm not big in my RDTAs. I've tested quite a few of them with the rods, without the rods. But I know there are RDTA fans out there, and I think this should definitely appeal probably to most of you, because it looks very good. I like the look of it. Won't buy it, not interested in it, but I can understand why somebody who likes RDTAs will actually purchase that. And then we got that for the older Pico fans, the iStick Picos. They brought out the Le Kit, and if you're not interested in the Le Kit, you can go for the Le Mod. So they actually do bring this out with an RTA atomizer and also without an atomizer. But the atomizer is typical of what you see in the Vapours and what you see in most of these guys. In any case, so but what's interesting to me is the fact that they bring out all these color configurations, especially these silver ones, but you still got the top part of the tank which is black. That looks a bit odd. So I think it's a nice little looking device, but I'll definitely get the Le Mod before I get the Le Kit. And the picture right at the bottom right, we actually see this little odd one sticking out there. The little number which has been cut off is 26. So this guy can actually house a 26mm RTA. So yeah, there you go. Nice little interesting punky. And then we've got this. This is the last picture I'm going to show you. The Boxer. They actually brought out a side-by-side dual 18650 Boxer mod. So yeah, and I thought that also looks cool. Looks cool. But these things are so expensive, man. I mean, what's it, $280 up? They cost a lot of money for 3D printed devices. But as I said, I've got a Boxster. I've got the Boxer 21700, and they're very good devices. They're beautifully made. They're solid devices. So yeah, it's a lot of money. But there's a dual 18650. So daai het jy dit. Nou ek gaan gou so vinnig so lank gou 'n zoom oopmaak. Dat ons so gou kan gaan kyk of ons vir Benji in die hande kan kry. Let's go there for zoom. And my hat goes vroom. Right, new meeting. Het hom daar. En daar's my lelike gesig. Pragtig. Pragtig. And let's see if I can invite Benji again. Okay, let's just get that out the timer, switch over to there again. It's Thursday evening and wing it time. Wing it time. Okay, now I just want to go over here and participants. Ek het nou hierdie is nou so in my pad hierso. Apps, participants, there you go. There you go. Let's invite. Hopefully they got here, and now I have to send the email again. Copy the invite link. Okay, but that's I know Benji's sitting there, so this is definitely not going to take long. Just create a new mail. I've got his. Wait, I can just reply to his. There you go, Benji. Ek reply to jou ding wat jy vir my gestuur het, hoor. Okay, so hopefully you will get that now. And I will just copy the whole invitation quickly and send you the whole invitation as well. Okay, I'm just going to reply there again, and I'll send you the whole invitation with the password and the passcode or whatever they call it. There, I'm sending it now. So we will soon have Benji inside chat. All right. So there's that. All right. So otherwise, I don't know if I showed you the Vapour, the new Vapour ones which they actually sent me. These oaks. This. But it's actually strange because I just had to start up this other guy as well. I'm just going to show you that now. Okay, let's just get this guy back up again. I actually started up this one just to check out this one. And they just do the same. If you obviously like drags and you're not into your 21700, you like, and this one, as I said, has got the TPP, this one's got the PNP calls back again, both airflow, blah 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 blah. But what's one thing is still in them which is annoying, which they still do not get rid of, which is strange, is the fact that if this thing stands idle, you have to double press the fire button to get this thing vaping again. So you can't just press, you got to press twice, and there you go. My vape is a bomb. And I got to say, the small one is more quiet though. But then again, the TPP and the PNP calls are always great calls. Let's quickly see if we have got a fish on the hook. If we have got Benji on the hook over here. Benji's in the waiting room. Look at that. We're going to... Ons gaan vir Benji here. Ons gaan vir Benji here. Let's just quickly change my light. Okay. Yo. There you go. Zoom group. Mr. Benjis is in. Benji, can you hear me? I can't hear you now. Before I actually switch over the screen there. Ek kan nog nie vir jou hoor nie, hoor Benji. Daar gebeur nou iets, jy het gehoes nou. Is jy met ons? Praat, sê gou ietsie.
Yes, kan jy my hoor?
Ja, nee, daar sê. Alright, nou dat ek weet jy werk, nou kan ek gou transition. There you guys, there we are. There we've got Benji right. And at the top of Benji, you will see a logo, and that's the logo which you guys are all familiar with. That's how you know Benji. Let me put off this light. I'm a bietjie bright. Daar sê ek is 'n bietjie bright. That is Vapour Mountain. Now, he is Vapour Mountain, but he's not still only Vapour Mountain. Just below him, you will see another one, which is New Lab Industries. And that is what Benji is going to inform us about. So first of all, Benji, thank you very much for agreeing to do the show. I have done a chat with you many a moon ago when you started out and only had one RTA to sell inside your cabinet many years ago. But look where you are now. Here mens, nou is jy groot and so on. So quickly just tell us something about yourself and tell us about your journey, because what I also want to get into a bit later is the process, because you've got 2 laboratories. How difficult it was to actually get those laboratories ISO certified, how important it is to get that certification, and what actually made you decide to bring up a second laboratory as well, because I think you got 2 going in Brackenfell, if I'm not mistaken, at the moment. Het jy 2?
Yeah, no, look, no.
Okay.
So look, I think everyone knows the story about Vapour Mountain, or most people know the story about Vapour Mountain. It just started out as a juice brand and an online store, which we after a couple of years we started manufacturing for customers. There was a demand. So we put up at that stage we put up a lab, but we still traded. We manufactured the juice brand. Everything was just Vapour Mountain. And I won't call it conflict, but that sort of created a few complications for us. And recently we decided we'll split the juice brand, the Vapour Mountain juice brand, from the manufacturing facility. So it's not 2 laboratories; it's only the 1 laboratory. We moved to new premises, bigger premises. We built a new lab, bigger lab, and the manufacturing facility and manufacturing, it's a brand new company as well. It's called New Lab Industries. Still in Brackenfell, yeah, but Vapour Mountain has now become what it started out as, which is a e-liquid brand.
So you are actually separating it. So if I come to you and I want you to bottle me 1,000 juice bottles of 3 milligram, then I'm talking to New Lab.
That's right.
And if I want to buy your triple X, then I'm talking to Vapour Mountain.
Look, New Lab Industries, we manufacture and distribute. So if you want to buy it for your store, you'll buy it from, you'll source it from New Lab Industries. If you want to manufacture your own juice, it'll be from New Lab Industries. If you go into a store and you ask for triple X, it'll be Vapour Mountain triple X.
Okay, awesome. Your family life, I know you're married still to a beautiful woman which you met many moon ago and you're still happy. That's all the Facebook photos I always see is all the smiles.
100%. 100%. Not just partner in life, but partner in business as well. So yeah.
Is the because I see some Facebook pictures where they actually opened almost like a type of gym situation. Is that also there close to you? Because it looks like as if it's in, or is it cosmetics or something like that?
Yes, um, she's got a hair salon and beauty. It's like a boutique lifestyle center. So they've got a hair salon, they've got a beauty boutique where they do, nails and facials and things like that. We've got a little coffee corner with a barista. Yeah, let's call it a lifestyle center.
And then I saw your kid graduated. Congratulations on that. Going to the next phase. Both of them, eh? Or the small one till too small?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, my son's, he's actually grade 1. He was grade 1 this year, so it'll be grade 2 next year. And the little one is turning 5 next year. So she's still not in grade R yet.
All right, so getting back to the vaping business, tell us what needs to be in place for a laboratory to be ISO 7. How hard is it to get to ISO 8? What exactly does ISO 8 mean? ISO 5 mean? ISO 3 mean? I mean, I've got no idea. I just see the sticker on bottles. Take us through that, please.
Yes. So I would say, let's call it the least clean would be ISO 9. And the cleanest would be ISO 1, which is almost not attainable. I think, laboratories at NASA would be something like a ISO 2 or ISO 3 kind of thing. And it's all about particles in the air, be it, dust, viruses, bacteria, and it's all graded according to size. So when they do your certification, they test for the air quality and the particles that actually is detected in the air. So with your filtration, you need to achieve a certain, filter out a certain particle size. Now that particle size that you can filter out determines your ISO certification level. So if you look at something like a commercial kitchen, someone making food for Woolworths or Checkers, that would be an ISO 8. ISO 7 is normally about what you'll find in a hospital theater, most pharmaceutical labs. Obviously, some of the labs, when it comes to vaccines and things like that, it'll probably be more between ISO 6 and ISO 4. So it varies, yeah.
So this room of mine in which if I mix a juice, this is basically ISO 4, ne?
Definitely. Yeah, I think they normally refer to sort of a standard room in a house. Obviously there's many factors that comes into play, but that's normally just ISO 9. It's
And your recipes, how many juices have you got out currently of your own
Sure.
brand?
You're putting me on the spot, yeah. If I had to think quickly, I'd probably say different flavor-wise, that's not accounting for different nicotine levels. If I had to say quickly now, probably about 15, 16.
And do you think you'll ever match what Triple X has done for you?
Yeah, that's the Triple X story is quite unique. I think it is, yeah. It was unexpected, and the longevity of it is quite unique. Most, with most brands, you get a star, you get a star recipe or a star product that might do well for a season or maybe 2 seasons, and then it sort of falls away a little bit. But I can, since we released Triple X, it's probably been our best seller every single month. So it's weird. There's a few that we've, like VM4 at a stage was quite popular. Things like when we release something new, Juniper, for instance, which is the gin and tonic, and Femme Fatale, you get the spikes, and there's a month or 2 or 3 that when you release something that you get the spike, and you might, pass the sales of Triple X for a bit, but longevity, we haven't seen anything like Triple X.
Yeah, well, I saw somebody vape your ball one the other day. That I actually saw. I think what's it called?
Yeah, we've actually discontinued bar one. That's actually a very good example. When we released it, it did extremely well, but it was quite short-lived. I mean, the sales went down quite quickly, and we actually still sell quite a bit of the one shot. It's available in the one shot as well. So we've got the 2 one shots, which is Red Pill and the one. So we're going to keep the one shot, but the juice form is discontinued.
But you do export some of your juices as well.
Yeah, we actually do a lot of 0 milligram juices for the Japanese market, believe it or not. They can't import nicotine e-liquids. So yeah, they all their juices are 0 milligram. We do quite a bit in Europe. We used to do some in the States. We haven't exported to the States in a while. Things have just become very difficult over there. But on a retail level, we do get orders from all over the world.
But I must say, Benji, the first time which I actually went into your shop, and that's when I think you started the laboratory already, you still took me through a little tour, and I was so surprised to see the volumes which you guys work with. I mean, I go in there and look for 2 liters of VG I want to buy from you. And then you take me to this place where those barrels are standing. Would you just please give these guys in chat an idea of how much VG and PG you go through a month or a day or a week or whatever you can remember, as well as the volumes of flavorings you buy at a time? Because I mean, here we get 10 milliliters, 30 milliliters, but that's obviously not what you guys work with. So yeah, take us through that.
Yeah, look, it is mind-boggling. I would say on an average month we go through between 1 and 2 tons of glycerin. Propylene glycol, obviously a little bit less. That has picked up with the popularity of MTLs and salts specifically. But because your concentrates are mostly PG based, you still use less, even though it's a 50-50 mix. You still use less PG. So PG a little bit less, but VG is just mind-boggling. Easily a busy month, easily 2 tons, it's a lot.
And what's
concentrates?
Yeah,
sorry.
No. I wanted to talk about concentrates. What's the biggest volume of concentrate? Say FA Peach, which you can buy it in.
Look, if you take a staple concentrate like a sweetener, let's say Capella Super Sweet, that is gallons and gallons and gallons every month. That's not, that goes into every juice.
Yeah.
Things like WS23, we manufacture from crystal form, so we don't buy the ready-to-use product. We buy in the crystals and we dissolve it in propylene glycol. I would say about 5-6 kilos a month of the crystal. Look, some of the concentrates, obviously you buy in, it might only be used at a concentration of 0.3% or something very small. Other concentrates are more popular. They use it for 5-6%. Some of the concentrates we buy in 10, 20, 25 liters at a time. Some of them, 500 ml or 1 liter. So it varies, quite widely.
And if you would give advice to anybody out there that wants to start thinking of actually bringing out a juice and bottling the juice, I think wise advice would most likely be try and stick with the popular flavor companies like TFA or FA or Flavora or something like that, though. Because I mean, because I've got quite a few recipes where I use maybe a Hansen or I use liquid barn, and it's a fantastic
Yes.
recipe, but then they get discontinued. But you don't often
Yeah.
see one of those bigger brands where it actually gets
True.
discontinued.
Yeah.
So that's
It's difficult. There's some amazing flavors on the, coming out from the lesser known sort of flavor houses. Amazing stuff. Some amazing Malaysian flavors, for instance. But like you say, if you stick to, especially if you want to look at longevity, and it's nothing worse than coming up with a great recipe and 6 months or a year later that flavors discontinued. So it's better to stick with and it's not only a handful anymore. Like back in the day, it was TFA Capella, Flavor Art, Flavor West, and maybe one or two others. But today we've got there's 20 plus that's sort of, they well established now. As long as you don't use something that's completely unknown, you should be okay.
I think you've probably heard of Pied Piper. It brings out a lot of these
Yes.
MTL tobaccos.
Yes.
And he actually donated a recipe a while back for the members of this channel, simply because for the only reason is that one of his flavorings got discontinued, and that was Holy Grail. And it's actually weird that some of these popular flavorings would also be discontinued, even though, because he's not the only one that knows and admits it's a fantastic tobacco flavoring. Why would companies stop producing it? Would it be that their suppliers again can't get the pigments or whatever to make those juices?
We've had instances with Inawera specifically where one of their raw suppliers either changes a formulation for whatever reason. Maybe they can't get hold of a raw material, or it's they changed it for a specific reason, where it just changes the profile completely. We've had 2 or 3 cases like that from Inawera. So it does happen, and for various reasons. But it's normally the formulation that changes for some other reason, and that has an effect on the flavor.
And when I mix a juice, there's a certain way in which I mix my juice. I would take my scale. I would first of all throw all my flavorings in, and then I would throw my nicotine in, and then I would throw my VG in, and then my PG, and then I would mix it, and then I would let it air probably for about 10 minutes before I actually put on the bottle cap.
Yeah.
Do you also have a specific methodology in which you basically use when mixing?
Yeah, look, funny enough, it changes. I don't know if I'm unique in that way, but it's changed through the years, and it changes from time to time, the way you approach it. And it's also slightly different when you do R&D and when you do obviously bulk, when you scale it up and you work in the lab and you produce at the bulk level. But R&D, it doesn't really make a difference. At the end of the day, whatever works for you. I think it's important, especially for DIYers, to do away with syringes. We way past that. Syringes is just a mess. Stick to a little DIY scale, and really, it really doesn't matter what your sequence is that you use. You will get people that swear by a specific sequence, but it doesn't really matter. I tend to do concentrates, Nick, PG, and VG last.
Nick, well, basically, that's what I also do. The other thing I also wanted to ask you was about nicotine. You have obviously used a lot of different types of nicotine before you decided on the one which you use in your Vapour Mountain bottles, which you bottle. Am I right?
Yeah.
What factors need to be in place which makes a nicotine go off to give you that peppery taste? Because I've got 2 bottles which I actually bought, 2 bottles of nicotine, same company, same sizes, same time, same day. It was delivered the same day. But the one started giving me peppery taste, and the other one is still perfect fine. They kept in the same place. What possibly could be the reason for that?
When you got them, were they both fine in the beginning? Or
No, they were both fine, yeah.
okay, so oxidation is basically what you're looking at. If they're kept in the same place, at the same temperature, with the same amount of exposure to light, you shouldn't have a problem. You must remember that once you've opened the bottle, then you allow air in.
Yeah.
As soon as you allow air in, you're going to start the oxidation process. Now, once you open it and you've decanted some nicotine and you put the bottle back with an unopened one, obviously you've allowed air in, and oxidation will start in the open bottle.
Yeah.
So suggestion would be to keep it as cold as possible, because your biggest problems when it comes to oxidation or storage of nicotine long term would be light, air, and temperature.
Yeah.
So if you can keep the air inside the container as small as possible, or as little as possible. So even if once you get it decanted into smaller bottles, if you're not going to go through it very quickly, decant into smaller bottles, make sure it's filled up completely so there's the least amount of air in it, and store it in the fridge. You can even store it in the freezer. It won't freeze.
And I must say, I can tell you now, whenever I bought from the same company, they're 100 milliliters, which come in a Gorilla bottle, obviously, because that Gorilla bottle's got that thin spout, which doesn't allow a lot of air in. I've never had a problem with that. But the 500 has got obviously a lid, which you actually have to remove. So I would love it if a company actually would bring out a 500 ml or a liter with a spout or a type of Gorilla bottle type of thing. Then I don't think you would have many of those problems. Kom ons kyk gou hierso.
Yeah, we used to get those. We used to get those. There was a stage where before the whole sort of chubby Gorilla popularity started, there was a local sort of bottle that everyone used with a spout cap. It's like a very thin spout cap with a cap on top of the spout. I don't know if you recall them. Still some people that sell them PG and BG in it. Something like that could work, and you can actually screw those caps fit on most 500 ml bottles, 1 liter and 500 ml bottles.
Yeah, didn't they call them the witch's hats or something like that?
Witch's hat, that's it. Some people call it the witch's hat.
There you go. Yeah, nee, kon nog.
Get them in white and black.
Yeah, those were the bottles which I used first when I thought I had nice juices. I can remember the time when I take Benji some of my juices and I think, yeah, these oaks are lekker. And then I know Benji doesn't comment, though. He thinks, no, these juices are shit, but he doesn't want to break my heart. So any case, but those were back in the day when I still used it. And I mean, I must say, you think you got a nice juice, but until you actually compare it with a lot of commercial juices, you realize that your custard isn't that good. So I think that's what one needs to do. If you decide to start making your own juice, get some similar profiles, which is actually out in the market though, and test them and compare yours to them before you actually think of trying to sell it off to somebody. So it took me a while. It took me a while to get to a point where I actually made an all-day vape for myself. So yeah. Arianto says, Opa in a house. There you go, Paul Beer. Delarijstein says, Naand Opa. How far are you guys with the Red Bull pipeline to Uncle Rob's house? The direct, obviously, courier line where you drop in there and you put a button and it vacuums all the way to KwaZulu-Natal. Arianto says, get your hair done while Opa mix your triple X. Yeah, that's because you said your wife has got is your wife's salon close to your laboratory, or is it not in the same complex? Business park?
We used to be, she's still in the same business park that we had the Vapour Mountain laboratory, but when we did the move to New Lab Industries now, we moved to a new business park. So she's still in the same business park.
Yeah, no, don't you think that have actually worked well if you market it as a hair salon for guys where you can test juices while your hair is getting done?
Yeah, no, there's a few barber shops that do sell e-liquid that I've seen. Not on a large scale, but I've seen a couple of just next to the beard oils, Some e-liquid on the right and beard oils to the left. Now I've seen that before.
Now, because your livelihood is basically dependent on the vaping industry, oftentimes you get nervous in South Africa regarding the direction and the tendencies which you see
For sure.
in South Africa.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Look, we are members of Vapour, BPASA, Vapor Product Association of South Africa, and we welcome legislation, and it must just be done in a proper manner. I think the big problem is overdoing it. So yeah, look, it's a fine line. It's a fine line between just having it open as it is at the moment, which is probably not the best for the industry. So there needs to be some sort of direction, regulation, legislation for manufacturers, for shops, brands, e-liquid brands, and so forth, and be it packaging. At the moment, there's just nothing. It's a vacuum. We self-regulate. I think most responsible stores, and definitely all of the members of the PASA, is doing a very good job at the moment. But there needs to be clear guidelines, and the problem is that, our friends in government, unfortunately, wants to over-regulate the space, and that's what the fight is currently. We want to work with them to come to an agreement on what's a fair and responsible way of regulating it. I mean, we're talking about people's lives and livelihoods. So, yeah.
Now, listen, I don't know if Herman Bester decided to use you, but I told him, Vapour Mountain, if you decide to go and bottle your war zone juices, do you remember that name?
New Lab Industries now, eh?
New Lab Industries. Okay, forget it. I'm going to remove that Vapour Mountain icon. New Lab Industries. Can you remember that brand, Warzone, or not?
Yes.
There you go, Herman.
I do. I actually, someone forwarded me a picture of a bottle of his juice. I don't know if he's decided on a manufacturer. I just saw a bottle of juice of his label. Oftentimes it's a natural step. Every single juice brand out there, the owner of that brand started out as a DIYer, no doubt. They started out as a vapor because they wanted to quit smoking, or they wanted to quit, Oka pipe or whatever the case is. They found vaping works for them. They got interested in DIYing, and they came up with a few good recipes. And the next step is, how can I make a business out of this? So a lot of the guys, when they come to us, they do have a good recipe, or 2 or 3 or 5, but it needs to be the package, and that's what we do at New Lab Industries now, is that we want to be sort of the A to Z, or like the Americans would say, but A to Z of assisting a startup. So we can assist with designing of labels. We can assist with if a recipe is not finished, or if the brand owner is willing or needs assistance, we can assist with the recipe. We can distribute the e-liquid once it's done. We can advise on marketing. So we want to, from the beginning till the bottle is on the shelf, we want to assist the customer. And there's lots of things that need to happen until that point to get the e-liquid ready. Some silly things like, a 100 ml bottle. Most people do not sell e-liquid in 100 ml. Most brands are not in a 100 ml bottle anymore. Yeah. So there's just certain things when it comes to the way the label needs to be, certain things that needs to be on the label, certain things that shouldn't be on the label. We normally advise people not to go the direction of appealing to children. Obviously, that's a big thing in the industry at the moment, or not in the industry, but finger pointing towards the industry, that some labels appeal to children. sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not really justified. They think if there's some sort of fruit on the label, it's appealing to children, which is completely untrue. But when you start getting into little funny comic characters and things like that, then it's a different story. So yeah, lots of advice that we normally, assist a possible new brand with. And it's not that we won't assist them if they do not follow the advice, but that we've been in the industry for 8, 9 years, and we know what works, and we follow the trends, and
Benji, I just quickly want to see if there's any questions. I know Tina's Auto has actually asked you, is XXX the same as Red Bull?
Is XXX the same as Red Bull?
Yeah.
On paper, yes. So I'll quickly tell the story. I think a lot of people know the whole story, but when we released XXX, many years ago, I'd take a guess quickly, it was 2014. Devices were a lot different to what we have now. It was developed as a 50-50 e-liquid, and it was called XXX. The profile was mixed berries, lychee, elderflower, and menthol. There wasn't such a thing as ice back then. So if you wanted to cool down your liquid, it would have been menthol. Shortly after, there was a product called Coolada, which is also a coolant. That was used for a couple of years, and then WS23 came out and replaced that Coolada and menthol as your coolant of choice. Still a few e-liquids and diehard menthol fans out there. There's not many menthol based e-liquids out there when it comes to using it as a coolant. There's true minty menthols or mentally mints, if you want to call it that, but not many juices use menthol as a coolant anymore. So what we've done, we released it. It did extremely well. We at the first VapeCon, we won the first prize for the best e-liquid. We also won, I think, together with who was it? I'm trying to think who it was, but it was a.
Wasn't XXX born out of the do-it-yourself competition at one of the VapeCons back in the day?
It wasn't a DIY. It was one of the juice brand. It was a juice. Oh, okay. It was an existing juice brand entry. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then we also got the best E6SA poll. We also got the best e-liquid overall and the best fruit e-liquid. And then shortly after, the whole like blown out of proportion issue, it might be a little bit controversial still, but the whole problem with diacetyl started, where the whole world just jumped onto the diacetyl train, saying how bad diacetyl is, and they, that recipe contains a concentrate that's got trace amounts of acetone and acetyl propionyl in it, which under certain circumstances it's a type of diketone, which diacetyl is as well. Diacetyl known for when inhaled in large, heavily concentrated volumes can cause popcorn lung. But I think there's only been a small handful of people that contracted popcorn lung. And I think 99% of them was in a popcorn factory
in Mexico
years ago. So, ever since it's been proven that tobacco cigarettes contains more diacetyl and so forth. But what we did back then is we actually changed the formulation. We took that ingredient out and we replaced it with a different ingredient that didn't contain any diketones, and we still called it XXX. We just communicated to all our customers and through our marketing that we've taken out the ingredient that the diketone that contained the diketone, and it changed the profile quite somewhat. On paper it's the same, but it was less sweet. it was slightly less, if I can call it that, less fruity and juicy, where the original one was slightly more sweet, jammy, rounded fruit. The menthol was probably slightly sharper in the change recipe as well. So then what happened was, the popularity of Triple X still grew after that. It sort of, there was a few diehard Red Bull fans. Red Bull Triple X fans of the original Triple X, of which Rob Fisher was one, that just would not accept the new recipe. So we had to keep doing custom mixes for quite a few customers. And eventually we just decided, look, the demand is still so massive for the original recipe, even though people knew there was like trace amounts of dicatone in it. And then when all these studies started coming out and when they started disproving the whole dicatone issue, we'll release it. We'll put a warning on the label saying it contains trace amounts of dicatone. We will re-release it as Red Bull.
Okay.
And so the original Triple X recipe was re-released as Red Bull. So now we had proper product in the market again with a label just called Red Bull. That used to be the original Triple X.
Listen, Shabir Yusuf says Triple X and Red Bull are the same profiles but very different. He says he loves Triple X, is his favorite juice. He's been vaping it for years now. And then Tianus Mulder says Hildegard, which is his wife, loves juniper and in 120 milliliters now. So there are fans. There are fans out there. But I think we knew that. Let's quickly see if there's something else which I've missed. Just want to check out the questions. If there's any more questions here to Benji, I don't want to keep him all night. I know that Oak wants to go and lie in a warm bed and watch the new...
No, I don't go to bed early.
And he says, Shabir also says, try not to shake Nick bottles to allow air bubbles. True that.
Yeah.
That's why I normally don't agitate my juice when I mix it. It's just a nice even stir. Dela Reis says, my do-it-yourself juices are finally at the point where I enjoy what I have created, but I still haven't made a mix that tastes as rounded off as a commercial juice. Any tips, Benji?
Sure.
Malaysian
might need a little bit more info than that, but look, the important thing is to do slight variations on a recipe that you think can work and that you've made, but you feel it's not rounded. So you got to get your layers right. Not all juices are meant to be multi-layered. I mean, there's a plethora of I don't want to call it budget juices, but some simplified and simple juices out there, and a lot of people prefer that. Where it's only 2 fruits and ice. Still, you need some accents and you need to work on texture and things like that. So sometimes if it might be a pineapple, let's say a pineapple and apple with ice, but you find it's maybe a little bit too thin or it's not well rounded, then you need to round it off a little bit and work on your different layers. Maybe add just a touch of mango, not enough to taste outright, but to work on your texture and to work on your layers. Maybe something that can work with an apple, like maybe a little bit of pear. But just as an example, so sometimes you've got supporting fruit and that can work on a different layer, or that can add texture, things like cactus, that can add a little bit of sweetness as well as a little bit of texture, can give an effect of maybe a wetter vape, something that's a little bit more juicy. So there's lots of tricks. My best advice is to study. There's so much information out there. I mean, there's a few of the well-known mixes that you can follow. Just study and try available DIY recipes that people rave about. See what the mixer, what he's done and how he built his profile. And eventually you'll get the hang of it, how to layer your recipes.
Yeah, just before I'm going to actually thank you, Benji, I just want to go through some super chats here. Arianto kicked off things with 25 Rand, says that the games begin And then we've got Arianto with another 21 Rand. We have got, you go down here, Arianto with another 150. Yeah, I think Arianto paid, he got paid. Jaco Veldhuis with a 300. Arianto with another 190 saying whoop whoop, oh my lordy lord. Paul Beetke with 150. Andre Hofman 70, South Prawn 70, Paul Beetke another 100. Here Kevin Long 1,000 Rand. Oh my lordy lord. Now the reason why I don't know if you saw the reason why they're actually super chatting so much, but it's to try and get this guy, we're gonna spin off to one of the super chats.
Ah, very nice.
The
Very,
X
very nice.
with all its original packaging over there.
Yes.
There was one more question
Beautiful.
I always wanted to ask you. Oh yeah, now I remember, because Lord Hawkey, he's fascinated with the fact that I mix my juices 65-35. Where did it come around, the 70-30 thing? Because I mean, I find it just saturates so much nicer at 65-35. I can use it in my MTLs, I can use it in my direct lungs, but as soon as I use it 70-30, I just feel the cotton doesn't draw it up as quick, and I don't get that saturated vape. Why?
Yeah.
Where did the 70-30 thing start, and why would people do that? Or am I just not lekker in my head?
Yeah, look, that could probably become very technical, probably even more technical than what I could explain. But look, I've got Red Bull in the dwarf. Okay, this is our good friend Rockfish's sort of setup. Not nearly as fancy with the mods, but a dwarf with 50-50. A 50-50 Red Bull, you can't beat it.
That's a drag you're seeing there, ne? It's got a drag.
That's yeah. Look, it's actually supposed to be on this one, but I've got while I'm talking about it, I can just give a quick plug or two.
There you go, do it.
We've got some look, some of the brands that we manufacture for are releasing some awesome new stuff. Vapour Mountain, we are looking to release a nice fresh fruity juice for summer. I know we're starting to get well into summer, so there's one coming from Vapour Mountain, a nice it's not a mainstream fruit ice. It's going to be something quite a bit different. And then that's why I've got a very old Tauren, which I enjoy quite a bit. This thing is a machine. It doesn't die. I've actually had it fixed about 2 times already, but it is just, you can't beat it. So I've got the Arbiter on here with one of the new juices from G-Bomb. We manufacture for G-Bomb as well. One of the new juices in their Indulge range. They're launching 2 new juices, and both of them are banging new fruit juices. So that's why I've got it. It's got a little bit more power and the DNA chip. So I've got the Arbiter on the Tauren now, enjoying this juice. I'm not going to say anything about the profile, but they are releasing this in the next week or 2.
Nice.
What else is there?
But I think I must come and make a turn there at your side again. Maybe
come visit.
If you've got them available, maybe I should just purchase the whole range and actually offer it as a Christmas gift on a lucky spin. There you go.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah, let me know when they become available. It would be nice.
Yeah, look, if you want to do a giveaway, if you want to do a giveaway, we can sponsor a couple of bottles for a competition or a giveaway.
And there goes your industries as a logo on this main screen of mine, which is so filled already. And that's awesome. That is beautiful. Now, Benji, we truly appreciate it. I mean, you've always been supportive. This Benji has never denied me anything. Whenever I get there, prices are always excellent. And then he just pops a bottle in my hand. He says, taste this. It's probably one of the friendliest blokes in this whole vaping industry. He's not a guy that gets involved in all the politics. He does his thing and he does it brilliantly. So yeah, that I've always appreciated from you, Benji.
Pretty much sums it up. Don't have time for politics. Leave that to the politicians.
True that. Hier's Jaco Veldhuis met nog R100. Hier's Anton Visser met nog R50. And yeah, that's that. So basically, thank you very much. I don't want to hold you up. It's 9:15 already. Benji, I truly appreciate it. These oaks will definitely probably want you on at a later stage again. and I'm sure you wouldn't mind if we've got a session number 2 with you at some other point in the future.
No problem. I like chatting. 100%. Thanks, Kaizo.
So from our side, have a super Christmas and have a lovely holiday with your family and your friends.
You too, likewise, man.
Cheers, Benji. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
It is Thursday evening and winger time. Woo! There's it. All right, listen, guys. Thank you very much. I know I have not been involved in chat. It's very difficult to follow this chat while you've got somebody going over there. But I see Rob Fisher's in the house. The Vet Gates is over here. If I just go from the bottom, there's Charl van Niekerk who says Amanda. Not sure what this Amanda is. So I appreciate it. You guys have been alive and kicking inside the chat. And I just think this channel, I don't know, it's so nice being part of this channel, Oaks. Dis so lekker. So I will definitely get back and see exactly how many whatever and get the draws ready. And what I'll do is I'll post it in the community tab. You also know how much you contributed. If I made a mistake before we do the lucky spin for the Hex 3.0 powder coated black version, then you can just tell me in the community tab. I'll probably do the count over this weekend, and by Tuesday I'll post in the community tab, and you can just tell me, listen, Kaizo, no mate on me, that is so much, so I need an extra entry, or you gave me one entry too much, whatever the case may be. So I just want to thank you, Oaks. It's been tremendous. Yeah, there's some late bids going on over there. I think you guys have actually surpassed the amount a Hex is actually worth. I think these things but sell for 2,800 new. So here, yeah, ouens, there's quite beans. Benji, if you're actually still watching, I actually wanted to tell you, if you want to get your Therion recovered, that material part and those little wooden strips, maybe put nice resin strips in there, whatever, please let me know and I'll put you in contact with Nico Libber. I mean, he'll do those things very, very easily, and it will bring your Therion to tip-top shape and will give you the color configuration which you wanted. I mean, just imagine beautiful resin sides instead of those little wood panels to give you that bit of extra matchiness for whatever. So, Oaks, thank you very much. Have a super weekend. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you very much for joining and making it an extremely nice winged session again. Julle moet lekker slaapies, and let's just get my extra screen ready. Where's my extra after live? And yeah, that's that. Oaks, have a lekker weekend. Cheers. Fade 'em.